The American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU, has been a leading voice advancing the narrative that the Jewish community levels false charges of anti-Semitism to silence criticism of Israel. But in the case of its client Badar Khan Suri, who faces deportation following cameras' exposés of his and his wife's Hamas ties, the ACLU has resorted to specious allegations of anti-Muslim and anti-Palestinian bigotry to suppress criticism of terrorism. In court documents and public statements, the ACLU claims Suri and his Palestinian-American wife, Mafayzeh Salah, are being targeted because of their Muslim religion and Salah's national origin. The NGO calls Camera a group that spreads misinformation and seeks to discredit American Muslims. In the ACLU's narrative, Camera was a leading player in the racist and Islamophobic doxing and smear campaigns that led to Suri's detention. What evidence does the ACLU give for Camera's anti-Muslim and anti-Palestinian motivations? None. It can't because none exist. In February, Camera exposed that Salah, the daughter of a senior Hamas official, had herself worked directly with the terror organization's regime. Soon another organization, the Middle East Forum, exposed reprehensible social media posts by her husband Suri. In March, immigration officials detained Suri, who now faces deportation. Further Camera research exposed that Suri participated in a convoy organised by one terrorist organisation, IHH, to aid another, Hamas. Camera also uncovered years of public statements by Salah and Suri, spreading hate-filled rhetoric and propaganda. So how does the ACLU mislead? In its court filings, the ACLU almost never uses the word Hamas, instead deceptively referring to the Gaza government. It relates that Salih's father, Ahmed Youssef, worked as a political advisor to the Prime Minister of Gaza and as a deputy foreign minister in Gaza. In other words, Hamas. It's not Youssef's career in civil service that's a problem, but his long-standing affiliation with a designated terrorist organisation. Then the ACLU gives the court both a lie and the truth in the same document. Salah declares to the court that a website claimed falsely that my husband and I have ties to Hamas, but it's no false claim. Salah herself admits in the same declaration that she was working in the Foreign Ministry of Gaza, a Hamas entity, in 2011. Regarding Suri, the ACLU describes his terror convoy as merely a humanitarian aid convoy. It admits that it was organised by a terrorist organisation to aid Hamas in breaking the siege, a blockade lawfully imposed on Gaza to halt the flow of weapons to Hamas, which had already launched over 5,000 rockets at Israel. The ACLU relies on the same tactics to sanitize Salah and Suri's extremist rhetoric. Salah, for example, is depicted as merely expressing sorrow for the deaths of Gazan people. Omitted is that she repeatedly expressed glee at the murder of Israelis, including approvingly reposting a Hamas propaganda video promising to murder civilian hostages. The ACLU describes Suri, meanwhile, as an academic dedicated to ending wars and finding just and peaceful solutions to conflicts. Here's the scholar engaging in a celebratory pose with Ismail Haniyeh, a Hamas leader known for such peaceful rhetoric as, "We need the blood of women, children, and the elderly of Gaza, so it awakens our revolutionary spirit." Suri himself has stated that what Ismail Haniyeh is doing is no different from what any national leader would do. People dedicated to peace and justice don't normally lionize terrorist leaders who deliberately target civilians for murder. The ACLU's focus on Salah and Suri's speech is misleading. Camera didn't target them for their speech. Camera exposed their conduct on behalf of and in support of a terrorist organisation. The ACLU goes to extraordinary lengths to obscure it, but working for and aiding terrorists is no civil liberty. It's a real threat to our freedoms.